friends, welcome to Turn a Stone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. I really do appreciate the support. So today's reading is all about possibilities opening up for you. So if you have been wondering what opportunities may be coming your way, what solutions, new ideas, expansion you may be able to embark on, all of those wonderful things we will be exploring in today's reading. So I have 3 cards for you to choose from to direct you to your correct reading. Pile 1 is here, pile 2 is here, pile 3 is here. Timestamps are in the description box below. Please click ahead to your reading and I will see you in your chosen group. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading. This is a look at the possibilities that are opening up for you. You were drawn to this, I guess it's kind of a brown feather here in the introduction, and this is the goose. And the goose says, "Your dreams and desires are calling you to action. The journey begins today." So a lot of interesting things I'm noticing about this card right away. This is I call it the Canada goose, commonly known as the Canada goose or the Canadian goose, depending on your region. Your dreams and desires are calling you to action. The journey begins today. This could, for some of you, represent a physical journey. A goose travels many thousands of miles, so this could be a very long journey that you're planning for some of you. Also, it mentions that your dreams and desires are calling you to action, and you received some other action cards as well. You've got the Emperor, which is about, standing in your power, taking action. It's that kind of Mars energy, that not sitting around on something, taking action, making a move, not being afraid of, what people think, just, being willing to commit to a decision and going forward with it. And that is also confirmed here with the King of Swords in your reading as well. So a lot about taking action, kind of standing in your power, claiming your power, and indeed using your power, your agency, your discernment to make decisions for yourself and act on them. Take actual physical, tangible actions. Let's go a little deeper into your reading here, and we can talk more about this theme that is coming up. So the first card that came out for you is the 8 of Swords. And this card to me speaks of releasing limiting self-beliefs or releasing limiting beliefs. Also, with this sort of seated posture that the angel has in this card, it makes me think that perhaps there's a decision that you've been sitting on. There may be something that you wanted to act on, but you're feeling unable to move on it somehow with the sort of cage that's appearing on this card. And I get the sense that you're perhaps coming out of this, or you're being encouraged to come out of this here with the reading that is presenting itself. I'm hearing for some of you procrastination, and you may be aware procrastination is often a sign that fear is present. So if there is some decision that needs to be made, or even that we want to make, but we're not making this decision, it can often be because there is a fear present within us that is holding us back from going forward with this decision. Perhaps we're afraid of some consequences that may occur if we make this decision. Perhaps we're afraid of the unknown, that we don't necessarily know what will unfold after this decision will be made. And, every decision usually will entail some consequences, both positive and potentially negative as well. And we will be we'll need to deal with those as they arise. And so, there can be some fear about making this decision, perhaps fear of judgment from others, perhaps fear of self-judgment even. Will we feel good about ourselves if we make this decision? So Spirit is really encouraging you to pay attention to any fears that may be arising, that may be resulting in procrastination. Really kind of look at that within your being. It may be something that you want to spend some time on working with, healing, tending to, paying attention to, observing as well. I think it could be important to kind of healing your path ahead. We do have some really bright and beautiful cards for you. Again, there is definitely there's some enthusiasm that's present here. So even if you are kind of procrastinating on something, there's something that you want to start but you haven't started. With the Page of Pentacles showing out, there is very much a part of you that is very excited about making this decision, taking this action, going forward with this, perhaps something related to your dreams and desires. There is definitely a part within your being that's excited about it, wants to do it, feels great about it. There's a lot of positivity here with this Page of Pentacles card. This can be related to young people as well. So maybe your dreams and desires involve young people. That may be true for some of you, not all. But there is, with this card, a lot of enthusiasm to grow something, make it happen, get involved with it, really get going on it. You also, not surprising, received the Fool card here. So this is, as we know, the card of new beginnings. And this card often speaks of, not knowing what the path ahead holds. So I'm really getting a sense that for some of you, there's a real, a sense of uncertainty of, if I take this action, if I go after this thing, I just feel like I don't know what comes next. And, of course, that is to be expected. None of us can always predict the future, say what's going to be next or what will evolve after we make a certain choice. But learn to gain acceptance for this uncertainty. I think Spirit is advising here in this reading. The road ahead of you is looking bright, but of course, on every road, things pop up and things must be dealt with. But just know that, that's simply part of life and everything is figure outable. So, please don't let the unknown hold you back, because everything is unknown. Even sitting around and not making a decision can have unknown consequences. So, much better to go after your dreams and desires here, as the goose is suggesting. You also have the Seven of Pentacles, and with the Seven of Pentacles next to the Page of Pentacles, I'm really getting a sense that there is really wonderful potential for whatever this new possibility is that you want to embark on. I see you growing it very fruitfully here. The Seven of Pentacles is often the card of harvest, of, taking stock of what we've built up, of what we've created, of all the abundance that has resulted from our efforts. So there's a sense that, if you do embark on something now, it does have the potential to yield a very fruitful harvest for you, as we see in the Seven of Pentacles card here. So again, a lot of encouragement from Spirit to take tangible action on your dreams and desires at this time. For some of you, if you are struggling with limiting beliefs or fears that are resulting in procrastination, something that can be helpful is to obviously break down any kind of process or decision or thing that you want to happen, break it down into small steps. So, I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to do this and do this and do this. That can be very helpful to break it down into steps. But even, an action that you can take might be making a list of 3 things you can do today to perhaps get started on a dream. So, depending on what your dream is, maybe it is today I will reach out to that friend who I know is involved in this area and ask them for their advice about who I should talk to. Like, That's something I'm going to write down as something I can do to get me closer to my dream. Often, being around people who are doing the thing that we want to do, or who have, achieved what it is we are looking to achieve, that can be a strong pull to bring that into our own lives. So, with this Emperor card and the string and the people, I was hearing networking. So, some advice that Spirit has for you today is to network, use your network. Don't be afraid to contact friends, or even friends of friends, or even an acquaintance, to just get more information from them. You can be very friendly about it, and um, be very open about what it is that you're looking for. And people will help you. Helpers will appear for you along your path. With this Emperor card, also, I was getting a very specific message about don't get tied down by the details, especially with the King of Swords here, this being a very intellectual kind of energy. Perhaps if you're someone who does kind of intellectualize things, you may get caught up in the details of a certain action or a certain project. And as you're, considering each and every little detail that might affect what you're doing, sometimes we can use just the volume of those little details to distract ourselves from actually taking any action, or discourage. We use it as a way to discourage ourselves from taking action, saying, oh, well, if I did this, I would have to deal with this unpleasant thing and that unpleasant thing, and it's just too many unpleasant things, and so I'll just stay where I am. I hope that makes sense. That's not a concrete example, but I'm trying to be general here, as this is a general reading. So the message is not to get bogged down in the details, not to overthink the details, too. The spirit team is telling me here with the Emperor and the King of Swords. But, I also think you have the opportunity to become a real authority on this dream and desire of yours, whatever it is. These are masters of their craft. They are people who are kind of at the top of the top of their trade, the top of their line of work, perhaps. So I see you having the potential to not only grow something very fruitfully, but to be somebody who is really, an expert in whatever this dream and desire is that you are pursuing. I also did draw for you two cards from the Work Your Light Oracle deck. And the first card that came out for you is Keepers of the Earth. It says, "You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you." So you may, this dream and desire that you have may have something to do with the earth, safekeeping of the earth, stewardship of the earth, perhaps stewardship of animals or wildlife, even. That's very possible. And this card is coming through to let you know that you have support from the outer realms for this kind of work and these kinds of actions. So just know that you are supported in that way. You also received the Share Your Voice card. It says, "Come out of the cave, persecution, expression." And when I saw this card, particularly when I see this Eight of Swords in reverse, some of you may indeed have experienced some form of perhaps persecution for expressing your ideas, or expressing who you are, or expressing your desires even. There may have been some judgment, or some harsh treatment that came, just by expressing who you are and what you believe. But this card is encouraging you to, really look at if there are fears there, to look at those, to deal with them, because you are here for an important reason. You do have an important message. You do have something to express within your being that is very valuable to humanity and perhaps, to other inhabitants of Earth as well, or the Earth itself. You have a very important message to share. So, your spirit team really wants you to take a look at this, really examine any limiting beliefs or fears that may be holding you back from expressing your true authenticity, who you really are, what you really want to say, how you really want to be. Very important message here from Spirit today. So that is the message that I have for you, my pile one. Beautiful message, beautiful encouragement from Spirit to take some kind of action today, even if it's a small action like writing down a list of the steps that you need to take to get closer to your goals, your dreams, your desires. That action is going to be helpful to you. They're really encouraging you to move forward in a tangible way at this time. So I wish you all the best, my pile one. Thank you for your time and attention today. If you liked this reading, please click that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment or subscribe to the channel if you'd like to do that as well. I'm grateful for your presence here today. I wish you a beautiful day full of light, love, and boundless blessings, and I will see you in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. This is a look at the possibilities opening up for you. So the card that you were drawn to in the intro, this beautiful sort of gray, black, white feather, is the feather of the dove. And the dove says, "Feel and allow a deeper sense of peace to fill you now. This is a divine quality. Feel and allow a deeper sense of peace to fill you now. This is a divine quality." So your reading blew me away, pile two, because this sense of peace is really showing up in your reading quite a bit. And what was really remarkable is that your very first card out was the Temperance card, and she has two doves in this card. So doves are really showing out strongly in your reading. And as we know, doves are that international symbol of peace, of harmony, of being able to bring things into balance. And there's a lot of that going on in your reading. So I do feel that the possibility that is opening up for you, or one of the many possibilities opening up for you, is certainly going to be to experience greater peace in your life. And I do want to say to some of you watching this, we've got the Temperance and the World card. And when I see this Five of Wands card, some of you watching, not everyone, will actually be, perhaps you may be in an area where there is conflict going on around you. We do have some big cards kind of suggesting kind of major events. We've got the major arcana of the Devil in reverse, the World card, the Fool, the Temperance. So some of you may be in a region that is experiencing some conflict. And I think a possibility opening up for you may be to relocate out of this region so that you're in an area where you can experience greater peace, if that is true. That message again, just for a very few people watching this reading. For others of you, the peace that's coming in could be around a family situation or a workplace situation. This Five of Wands and the way she's kind of moving around the various characters, to me, suggests interpersonal conflict of some kind. So I do see you being able to experience peace after a period when there may have been some interpersonal conflict that you experienced that was perhaps quite painful. We have the Devil in reverse here, as I mentioned. This can often be the card of sticky situations. Perhaps dealing with people who don't have our best interests at heart, or maybe even don't have the best interests of others at heart. This is can be a Saturn energy, so it's very kind of hard out of alignment energy, but this is in reverse. So this suggests to me that we're letting this go. We're able to free ourselves from this. So if you have been experiencing this in any way, I do see a greater peace coming to you. Let's take a look at your cards. We'll kind of go through them one by one here. That may help to clarify what we're discussing here. So the first card out for you is the Temperance. As I mentioned, she's got these two doves, so more of this kind of peace coming in. A very peaceful card. She has a very peaceful expression on her face. It's also a very healing card, the Temperance card in tarot. If you recall the Rider-Waite version, she's kind of pouring into a cup, kind of back and forth. It's that sort of alchemization process, bringing things into balance. So your guides are telling me there is this sense of bringing things into balance. We also have for you, I mentioned Five of Wands. This is the card of conflict, people not getting along, people kind of arguing often with the Five of Wands, or just not seeing eye to eye on the Five of Wands. But then in the second column, you've got the World and the Fool. So this to me suggests being able to kind of complete this cycle of discord, I want to say, complete the cycle of discord and start fresh here with the Fool card. This is, as we know, the card of new beginnings, the card of striking out on a new path, perhaps going to an unknown place. It could be a physical place. For some of us, this may be simply an internal process that this is pointing to. Perhaps you have had some degree of mental conflict. It could be some mental conflict with others. You know, maybe you find yourself returning in your head to disagreements that you've had with people, or, situations where you felt you perhaps have not been treated fairly, or that behavior towards you has not been fair or right. You may find yourself repeating that in your head over and over again, kind of in the thought world, kind of feeling a bit stuck in a loop. I'm hearing that can happen quite often. So I see you, the possibility open up for you is the possibility of healing perhaps this mental cycle, where you're perhaps caught in conflicts of others, even in an internal way, where you almost sort of keep yourself reliving this conflict by revisiting it in your head again and again. You're finding a way to find more peace with this. This might be seeing the perspective of the other person, kind of where they're coming from, feeling a bit more at ease with the conflict, being able to kind of forgive and move on and let go in some capacity. And by doing this, you're going to be able to kind of free yourself to move on from whatever this conflict has been. This may involve approaching the party or person this involves, or it may simply be going through, working through internally kind of your own perspective, your own issues. I did want to mention, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Byron Katie's work. Sometimes if we get into a conflict with another person, or communication wires have been crossed, or we feel that someone has said or done something hurtful, Byron Katie has this wonderful process she calls the work. And she has a little worksheet you can look for. I believe it's called the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. You can look for this online, and it's a series of questions that help you to kind of look at what has occurred, look at what is the situation bringing up for you, encouraging you to kind of reframe it, reevaluate it, more deeply understand it. And it can be very fruitful in terms of moving on from these kinds of interpersonal conflicts that are depicted here. So if you're not familiar with Byron Katie and the work and the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, Google any of those terms, and I think you'll be able to find a bit more information about that. But I do see you, the possibility opening up for you is for you to kind of get out of this cycle of discord, to start on a fresh new path. The advice that your spirit team is coming forward with is they're asking you to be very grounded, very nurturing. With the devil in reverse, they are encouraging you to exit this difficult situation. For some of you, this may be physically exiting this difficult situation. For others of you, this may be mentally exiting this difficult situation. Use your own judgment as to which applies to you. We do also have for you, I drew from the Work Your Light Oracle, and we have the Mintakan card. It says longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. So this is often, this card can often reflect a level of displacement, which is, as I mentioned before, some of you may be physically moving out of a region or an area, or even a home environment where there is high conflict. So this card to me represents, that kind of longing for a more peaceful place of home, a place that really nurtures our spirit. And the Queen of Pentacles is a very nurturing figure. So you're really encouraged to, any grounding practices you have to help you feel sort of safe, grounded, cared for. At home, things that you can do to help you feel at home. I remember years ago when I would move to a new place, I would often bake in my new home. It was something that felt very grounding to me. By making a loaf of, banana bread or whatever, appealed to me at the time. Something about the process of baking and filling the home with these wonderful smells and scents of baking foods was very calming to me and helped me to really feel at home in whatever new space I was in. So maybe there's something like that, whether it's, lighting a candle or placing some flowers, or maybe doing something like baking or brewing some tea, whatever helps to make you feel more grounded, and giving you that sense of home, I think is going to be helpful for you at this time. You did also receive this Keepers of the Earth card, which is very interesting. It says, "You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you." So you may very well have support from the ancestral realms regarding whatever this change is for you, whether it's leaving a difficult situation physically or mentally. I think your ancestors are supporting you through the process. With this Keepers of the Earth card, again, an interesting symmetry going on, because the Queen of Pentacles is very much the Mother Earth card. It's a very earthly, maternal energy, a very feminine energy, but also very much this sort of keepers of the earth. The Queen of Pentacles is the one who tends to the plants, tends to the animals, tends to the children, really looks after those things in the physical world on a very deep and meaningful and almost spiritual level. So you may be involved in some degree of earth keeping, whether that's stewardship of our seas or our lands or our animals in some way. That may be applicable for some of you watching this reading as well. But you also received this Queen of Pentacles, which, as I said, this Earth Mother card. So your spirit team is encouraging you to embody this energy of the Earth Mother, both for yourself yourself and potentially for others as well as you move out of this difficult situation. And I do see you as someone who, with your peaceful nature, as you move into really more fully embodying this peaceful nature, you may not be aware, but I believe this is really having a profound effect on the environment around you. I mean, this is the kind of thing that can help other people sort of regulate their emotions. It can help plants to grow better. It can help animals to feel more at ease. Spirit is coming through to let you know that the more that you can cultivate peace within your being, you're really going to be affecting the wider world in a very profound way. And it may not be something that you readily see, but just know that this is taking place. So there really is a lot of profound support for you cultivating this new peace in your life, creating a peaceful world, a peaceful environment for yourself, both within your own being and in the external environment around you. All right, my pile two. That is the message that I have for you from Spirit. I hope this message resonated for you. If it did, please hit that like button down below. I invite you to comment if there's anything you wish to add or discuss regarding this reading. I would be happy to read your comments. Thank you so much for tuning into this reading. I wish you a beautiful day full of light, love, and boundless blessings. I will see you in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. This is a look at the possibilities opening up for you. I have to say, your reading is very powerful. I had to sit with it a while and really meditate on some of the cards in order to gather kind of the full depth of the messages that Spirit was bringing forward. So I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. Let's start by looking at the card that you drew in the intro. And this was the white feather. And the white swan is the bird that goes with that feather. This card says, the power of divine grace is within you. The power of divine grace is within you. So a lot of things coming through with the swan. First of all, I get the sense of, swans are typically known for, there's a lot of work going on under the surface with a swan. They can be paddling furiously, yet it looks like they're just gliding along the water. So I think that you may be engaged in some very, intense internal work, I would like to say, with this card coming up. I mean, people around you may not even know that you're going through this kind of intense experience. But I think there is a lot of deep and very active inner work occurring for you now. I was also thinking of the swan in terms of their ability to ascend. There were some messages of ascension coming through in your reading. So I think you really are ascending in some way. You are perhaps moving up the vibrational scale. Those are some possibilities that are opening up for you. The possibility to move into a higher vibrational state of being. I see that as being one of the messages of your reading. So let's begin by looking at your cards here. We have a lot going on, and quite a few cards came out in reverse. So I'm getting something very important with that. So we have for you the Five of Wands, the Three of Swords, the Queen of Swords. These are all in reverse. You did get the Moon upright, the Five of Swords in reverse, the King of Pentacles upright, and then you have the Trust Your Path card and the Transformation card. So, first of all, initially I was given the impression that obviously there is a lot of, there's some conflict and some hurt feelings going on. And by hurt feelings, I mean really very deep hurt feelings. I'm getting a sense of interpersonal relationships that are Oh, there's a lot of conflict, I would say, and a lot of difficulty in these personal relationships with the Five of Wands and the Five of Swords coming out in reverse here, the Three of Swords in reverse, the Three of Swords being a card of heartache, heartbreak, real emotional wounding with the Three of Swords. But the good news is that with these cards in reverse in your reading, I do see that there's a possibility for you to release these energies. And please don't click off the reading. I know a lot of times we can roll our eyes and think, oh, once again, somebody's telling me to just release this. And it can seem, like lip service to something that's a very difficult process. But what I'm getting from your reading is you are, you may soon be or currently be at a point where you're really getting to a stage where you're truly able to release this. Like, this is kind of karmic cycles that have perhaps been operating in families for generations. Or this could be something, energies that have been active in your own life for years, decades, even for perhaps some of you watching. These are things that can really have a deep impact on our lives. They can hang around for a long while. So when I say you really will have the possibility to release them, that is really no small thing. These can be very difficult energies. They can be very painful. They can have some lasting power. So the ability to release them is really incredible. I mean, it really represents a major change, a major shift in one's life. So I'm seeing here, I want to explain here, the Queen of Swords in reverse came out, also with the Moon card. So what I'm seeing here is that, these difficult, perhaps difficult family relationships, it could be difficult partnership relationships, difficult friendships even. It could be relationships in any context. But I think, you may have over time, with the Queen of Swords card here, you may be a very intelligent person. You may have figured out a lot about how people operate, and you may understand their motives. You may understand what to expect from them. You may sort of understand the world at a very mental, intellectual level with the Queen of Swords here. But the new possibility opening up for you in your reading, pile 3, is that you're going to be shifting from understanding what this dynamic is and what this pattern is, and understanding perhaps maybe the role that you play and the role that other people play and certain conflicts that play out. You're going to be understanding it on a much more subconscious level, on a deeper level, on more of the level of felt sense versus the level of kind of mental, intellectual understanding. And this shift into really understanding these subconscious drives, the subconscious experience that is kind of, perhaps had a hand in how you've been able to deal with this conflict, is really going to change your life dramatically here. I see you being able to release old conflicts here with the Five of Swords. And this might, like I said, be karmic patterns. This could be the kind of pattern, relational pattern that has been operating in your family for generations. So to be able to release this is really no small matter at all. But I think you're able to really dig deep. You're able to really understand, how you came to perhaps adopt these patterns. Sometimes things can be going on in our environment that we subconsciously adopt, ways of relating, things that we say, patterns that we repeat just because it seems normal in the environment that we're in. But you're really beginning to understand in a way that's deeply effective how to change this, how to unhook from it, how not to be, you know, constantly hurt, I think, by these situations that seem to play out again and again. I hope that makes sense, my pile three. But I see you, because you're able to really get into this subconscious realm and work with these things, and that you're, you know, while you're a very intelligent person, and I think you've kind of understood what has been happening, and perhaps even understood it for quite some time, and maybe it hasn't necessarily shifted the needle in your outer world. With this moon card coming on and some of the other cards coming on, I think the new possibility is that, you know, there's some subconscious healing going on here with the moon card. I hope that makes sense. When I get the King of Pentacles card, you know, this is a very earthy card. It's a card of real abundance. So I think, whereas, you know, you may have been in perhaps a repeating cycle where you've seen this play out more than one time, I think your external world is about to shift, and you're going to start seeing this internal subconscious kind of shift that you've made. You're going to begin to see the positive results of it display themselves in the external world. This could take the form of you meeting you know, really helpful people that you feel aligned with. This could take the form of, you know, you receiving more abundance. And, you know, perhaps if you're somebody who's been in a pattern of having financial difficulty, suddenly your financial difficulties are healed. And this is directly related to, you know, being able to kind of work through some of these subconscious drives that have perhaps been operating in your life for a long time. So I do see, you know, your outer world actually starting to reflect the progress that you've made here. And I think the divine has a hand in this healing that you're going through at the present time. You know, you're ascending vibrationally. I think it's time. I think you're getting some assistance from the divine realms, but that, you know, at the same time, you know, it's really your own your inner work with that subconscious material that's really going to lend to this progress. We also received for you from the Work Your Light Oracle deck the Trust Your Path card. It says, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So again, I get the sense that there is a past pattern that has been holding you back. You may, you know, the fact that it has been holding you back may not even have fully been in your awareness, but I think you're seeing that now. And Spirit is really encouraging you to go forward with your dreams, with your desires, with this card. As I meditated on this card, I could see this little figure here climbing up the red carpet. So I don't know if that image is important to you. It may mean something to someone, climbing up the red carpet, but it was definitely an image of ascension, of things getting better, of moving higher into higher knowing, higher being, all of those beautiful things. So do trust your path, trust that things are getting better. Also, possibilities opening up for you, transformation. It says things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. And we have another one of these queen images here. So there's a lot of this sort of, you've got the Queen of Swords here as well. I really get a sense of this sort of queenly energy going on. I was getting a feminine energy too, even with the swan. Although, of course, you know, swans can be any persuasion, but there's a sort of lovely kind of feminine, intuitive, a lot of intuitiveness going on. And I think there's real deep healing happening for you within this space. So there may be other imagery in this card that means something to you as well. I'm kind of seeing some echoes of ancient Egypt here. There's the cat. These even look like, to me, perhaps cat heads on the throne. take what you will from this card. But again, I think there's a deep, deep healing. I think this is the possibility that's opening up for you. And again, this is going to be something kind of under the surface. Your friends and family may not necessarily know that anything special is going on, but things are definitely improving for you here, or they have the possibility of improving at a really deep and profound level. I think that's going to help you ascend, and it's going to help both your internal and your external worlds to improve vastly. So that is the message that I have for you today, my pile 3. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel and partaking of this reading. If the reading resonated with you, please click that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment if you like, and I invite you to subscribe to the channel. It helps to support my work here on YouTube, so thank you for that. I wish you a beautiful day full of light, love, and boundless blessings, and I will see you in the next reading. Thank you.